Hi there, and welcome to EGAL's video series on 2S LGBTQI family planning. I'm Aruna Budram, and I'll be your host as we discuss family planning and assisted reproductive technologies for 2S LGBTQI communities in the Ontario context. In this episode, we'll be discussing Zainab's question regarding parental recognition. Zainab asks, my two partners and I are having a child together. One of them is currently pregnant and is married to our other partner. As a polyamorous family, it's important to us that we all have equal status and rights as our child's parents. Is that possible? Do I have to adopt my own child as the partner of the birth parent, but not the legal spouse? For polyamorous families, this is a common question. No matter what the marital status is of everyone involved, let's dive in. Family planning with multiple parents requires communication and ensuring that you all have considered your legal rights and status when it comes to your child. Ideally, this is figured out before conception to ensure that everyone feels like they have all of the information that they need to move forward as parents together. Seeking independent legal advice is always a great option for multiple parent situations. So with this said, the short answer to Zainab's question is yes, it is possible. In order to address how to go about this, we will need to look at the following three things: legislation changes from 2017, considerations before conception or birth, and the birth registration itself. I want to note that I will be talking about these issues within the context of Ontario law. Laws around parental rights do vary across Canada. So it is so important that you always speak to a lawyer sensitive to 2S LGBTQI family needs regarding the laws that apply in your province or territory. In January 2017, the All Families Are Equal Act came into force, following on the heels of the 2015 private bill called Cy and Ruby's Law. Both of these legal amendments represented significant advances for 2S LGBTQI families in terms of being recognized as parents to our children. These laws mean that donors of eggs, sperm, or embryos for the purpose of assisted reproduction are not automatically considered parents and do not assume the parentage of the child resulting from their donation. Parents of all genders are also recognized as parents. It also states that you can have up to 4 parents listed on the birth certificate, and you do not have to be married to the birth parent to be considered a parent if you are named as a parent on the registration. So what all this means for Zainab is that as a partner and future co-parent with a legally married couple, they should discuss their desire for parental rights and status with their partners. This will ensure that when the baby is born, it is understood that all 3 parents will be included on the birth certificate and registration. As long as they are listed on the birth certificate, they will not have to adopt their own child. Also, because we can now have up to 4 parents listed, there is no assumption or need for marriage, common law status, or any relationship at all between any of the parents. They could be platonic co-parents if they chose. This said, if any of the parents are married and the partner does not want to be considered a parent, they will have to explicitly state that in writing, since the law still views married partners as equal status, even if they are not co-parenting. If the birth parent passes away during or after birth and the birth certificate has not been completed, the married partner would assume parentage until the birth registration or certificate is complete, and all parents can be added. The child will have the same inheritances as they would have if the birth parent was alive. This brings us to the preconception or pre-birth conversation. While the legislation allows for all parents to be recognized at the time of birth, 2S LGBTQI families are still advised to write up a formal parental agreement with each other that clearly explains what role each person will be playing in the child's life. It is also recommended that each parent establish their own will and power of attorney documents. These documents can become critical in the event of a medical emergency, pre-birth, if something happens to the birth parent, or if there is a family breakdown before the birth registration happens. And this brings us to the birth registration. This can now be done online, and when filling out the birth registration, all parents must be present to certify the paperwork. In Ontario, you can choose a parent title of mother, father, or parent for each parent listed. The title you choose should be the one that best represents you and your family and the relationship that you have to the child. The birth registration form does not ask for genders of the parents, but you will have to provide your legal name, place of birth, and birth date. If your legal name does not match your chosen name, you may need to change your legal name to ensure that you have the name you want on your child's birth certificate. If the child is born and you are still in the process of changing your name, you can write the correct name on the birth certificate and continue with your name change simultaneously. You may want to call Service Ontario to discuss this before filling out the birth registration. All of this will confirm parental status and rights for a child with 2 or more parents, whether or not the child's parents are married. To recap, the legislative changes in 2017 have meant that there are greater protections available to 2S LGBTQI families in Ontario. Establishing a written agreement among all intended parents before the child is conceived or born will allow everything to remain as clear as possible in the event of issues or dissolution of the partnership. For Zainab, as the non-marital third partner and soon-to-be parent, they have rights under Ontario law if they are included as a parent on the birth registration and in the preconception parental agreement. The law is clear that discrimination based on someone's gender expression, and sexual orientation is not allowed. 2S LGBTQI people have all the same rights to assisted reproduction technologies and their parental rights as anyone else. However, 2S LGBTQI people may still unexpectedly encounter barriers in their family planning journey because of their identity. For this reason, it is critical that you engage a family or fertility lawyer who is sensitive to 2S LGBTQI identities and experiences. For more information and videos covering your questions related to 2S LGBTQI family planning through assisted reproduction, visit our program website at the link in the description below. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us at EGAL Canada on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.